Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to discuss that female judge who apparently shot her boyfriend in the head as he slept. I'm trying to process that even happening and taking place because you would figure a judge is a career-minded, career goal type of individual and individuals as a whole. Because, it takes a process to become a judge. First, it starts off with law school where you have to pass the bar exam. And then once you pass that exam, you become a lawyer. And once you become a lawyer, it's impossible to become a judge because it's too many lawyers. And every lawyer, all of the lawyers can be ordained judges because it's too many lawyers and not enough positions for judges within that community of lawyers. So the ones that do get appointed to judge, they are in a privileged position to be one of those such people that had and has. So, in other words, they're set after being appointed to judge. They got a cushiony job. They're going to make a lot of money with a lot of benefits. And then it becomes very political when you become a judge. You know why? Because you could become a mayor or a governor after successfully becoming a judge, of course. If they successfully became a judge, and that's anybody, then it's easier for them to run for any political office, in other words. Yeah, so in processing all of that about that judge who shot her boyfriend, I'm trying to put that into perspective. Like, why would she throw that away? Why would she throw all of that hard work away, all that commitment, all that schooling, all of that effort, all of that great pay, all of that privilege, all of that benefit? And I know some might say, well, judges aren't multimillionaires. No, but judges do very well. Look at the judges' salaries. And this lady looked like she's been a judge at least 6 or 7 years. We've seen younger judges than that. So this woman looked to be maybe in her 50s, mid 50s or 50 something. So she might have became a judge when she was 37. Yeah, they like electing the beautiful lawyer women into judgeships because they're good to look at in the courtrooms. I know somebody say, well, if they sentencing somebody to life or worse, then it doesn't matter how they look. Yeah, true. And duly noted at that. Yeah. So in other words, well, with the judge situation, not only would she have thrown away a promising career, she knows full well the harshness conditions of prison and a penal system, because she might have presided over hundreds of cases that saw people being sent to prison, and judges know the harsh conditions in which those inmates undergo, but hopefully it's not like harsher than it has to be or should be. I hope it's like easier depending on the set of circumstances. But nevertheless, this judge is aware of all of that. I'm sure she's seen prison films and prison videos, and she would be well aware that her going in as a judge would put her in a position of a lawful looking authority figure. Like, she's the law. She put a lot of people in prison. So they sent her to some prison for women, vicious women. They'll say, oh, it's the judge lady. She sent a lot of us in. She put a lot of us in here, sent a lot of our sisters to prison. So she would be looked at as we're being worse than a cop in terms of the street code. Like cops going in the inside in jails, judges, lawyers can go in and not be looked at as like cops and judges because they're like in the in-between. Because some lawyers, they defend people that are convicted of crimes, and some represent small claim financial and other types of lawyers. So all of the lawyers aren't necessarily criminal lawyers, in other words. Yeah, folks. So, well, I'm sitting back and watching this case day by day. I want to hear from the judge. I want to hear, like, why, if this is true, like, why would she be persuaded to do something crazy like that? Because they said the guy was asked her to leave the house. He was breaking up with her. Now, for this guy to break up with a successful, pretty woman like that, he must have had better going for him, far better. He must have had like a younger, prettier woman that was a younger judge version, more accomplished. Because men just don't throw away career goal-minded, successful, pretty women and say, get out my house, leave, we're breaking up. So that caught me, unless that judge chick is so hard to be around and hard to deal with or tolerate, and that would make sense. And some would say, well, if she shot the guy, then I'm sure that she's not a happy, joking, hugging, kissing type of girlfriend, like just friendly. Yeah, true. But she's seen a lot in her argument. She's dealt so closely with the judicial system in terms of convictions, sentencings, presiding over harsh judgments, that stuff certainly affects a person after a while. It affects judges as well. Yeah, folks. Okay. So I wanted to give my take on it. And there might be more on the subject to come later, so stay tuned. And please give me those likes, comments, and subscribe to me, Detroit Miracle. Thank you.